Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks Garage. Well, I am beside my '01 Ford Explorer here. It's been a while since I've done anything on this. Quite honestly, we haven't been driving it that much. I do believe I have a transmission problem, so if you've been following this and know I've been kind of digging into a noise, I think I've pretty much narrowed it down to something in the transmission. And as you can see, this has a sunroof, which I love. It's great. In the summer, it's awesome. In the winter, I've even opened it up because you can open it up and have just the window, so it's kind of nice. But the problem is, and if you're watching this video, you probably already know what the problem is. If I look up here, you can kind of see a vague line that runs all the way back at it, but it comes from the front all the way this way and is dribbling back here and coming out back here where it has sogged this out. And when I was kind of messing with it just to kind of see, it broke, unfortunately. So over the passenger side door here, I've noticed there's a little bit of discoloration there as well. So my plan is to start taking this headliner out. I'm gonna pull this down, and this does have a recorder thing, so you can record things. Also, first of all, I will say I unhooked the battery. Probably should do that. There's a lot of electrical up in here and lights, and I don't know what else. And there's electrical going to this as well as the center thing here, so should unhook your battery. And I'm going to pull that down and unhook this because I want to see how that goes. I love this thing. That is a really nice option. I'm going to actually pull this off in here, I think, first. And don't lose your screws. And I am going to kind of bag and tag things just so I know where they came from. And then hold this one up. And like I said, there's probably wires. There we go, right there. And then this has a little clip on it, which I'm assuming you push on and it pulls out. There we go. So it just has a little clip here. I'm gonna leave that hanging out a little bit. We'll stick this in the back seat for now. Well, the visors were fairly uneventful here. But this, I am really not sure what is supposed to and not supposed to come off here. Do a little bit of poking and prodding. Be very careful, obviously, especially if you're not positive like me. Okay, I'm not seeing any screws or anything like out there, so let's see. Everything I see right here. Oh, that's not good. That is so kind of burnt in there that it came apart, which is unfortunate. So that will probably be another video down the line, because that should have came undone. But these are charred up in here from all the heat these bulbs put out. Unfortunately, hopefully I didn't just make it so I can't make that work, but we will deal with that at another time, I guess, because I have to get this off of here. Wow. Wow. That wasn't probably good. Okay, that's what it does. Holy cow, that is ridiculous. Hopefully you got that on camera. Okay. There is an actual clips. There are clips up here. And then it actually looks like this needs to come off of here. Yep. This is glued in up underneath here. And there are two clips. One here and one here that go into a kind of rusty plate up here. This has been leaking for a little bit. Hopefully the motor's still in good shape. So there are some plugs here that we need to unplug. Right there's a thumb one there, and then this one appears you have to unscrew it. I got an assortment of Torx bits here. That's too big. That's too big. So we'll go down right here. It is a T10. And that's off. The next thing I see is this right here. Well, you missed it. This has a cover like this, and I take and popped that out right there carefully, and that exposes the screws that go in there. So I got a 7/32 and a driver here, and that should take these out of here. You got another one of those over passenger and driver side rear doors. There is not one on the driver's side. And since we're right here where this grab handle is, this piece here goes down and over the window here, and I'm going to start back here. There's a line, obvious line right here where it overlaps this panel, and I'm going to pull that right on out. There's just more of those clips in here, and make sure I'm not going to break anything. There's another one. It appears it needs to come this way, or go up. Let's see. We're going to grab down on the door here and slide out on this one as well. I'm thinking it's definitely just a clips, but it's a much larger clip. Yet again, this time I'm going to actually go get a bigger screwdriver here. This clip appears like it appears like there is a metal piece that kind of goes over and holds it, kind of pinches it in. So it appears to me anyway. So we're going to pry out on that. And the same thing right down in this area. There's just kind of metal clips that pinch over its plastic lips. I will show you this closer when I get to it. And then lift up on it this way, and that comes off. On here at the top, where I first started, is that little thing, and it pops into a hole up in the headliner area, or in the top here. And then you come around, and where I was prying out are these right here, one there and one right down here, and those clip into these little clips right here. I'm hoping you can see that, but there's little clips that this just pinches onto that right there and right there. Here, and then we come down to the bottom, and there's another one of those that just pops out of a hole in the door right here, and then you can kind of slide it up out of there. So here we are behind the seat. I had to hook up the battery, get the seat all the way forward here, and first thing we're going to look at is getting this piece off of here, because I believe it overlaps this piece here. And once again, I am not seeing any actual fasteners, other than I'm pretty sure it just has clips. So down on the floor here in the back. We're just going to pull up on this. And I'm going to go to the front. I don't know if you'll be able to see this all the way, but it actually goes clear up in front of the seat here. But yet again, I'm not seeing any fasteners. I'm seeing a very dirty floor, but I'm just going to kind of grab a hold of it and start pulling up from underneath here. And how does this go? Yep, same thing. There's a clip over here and a clip there. Shove it back towards the back. And then we're going to bring it up and out. Now we're up here at the top of the seat belt. We got the plastic cover here. We just got to kind of pry in there and pop it open. Oh, it pops open from the bottom. I thought it would come off from the top, to be honest, so good thing I didn't break it. This kind of a pain in the butt. You'd think it would come down where it's not hitting on things, but now we have another Torx fastener here that we're going to have to figure out what size it is. Yep. It is a T50, which is a Torx bit 50, and we're going to loosen that up. Oh boy, maybe. I cannot get this one without the cheater bar here, so I don't even know if I can get it with the cheater bar. We'll see. I've never had one quite this tight. They're Loctited in a lot of times, but I've never had one that tight. Wow, that is really in there. Cheater bar to the rescue. Now we should be able to pull this the rest of the way here. So now, tight sons of gunses that they put in these. I'm going to go ahead and try and do a little bit around the edge here just to kind of pry it out a little bit more. This is where you end up scratching things if you're not careful. And this is probably going to break, but I got this one here and it always does pretty good about getting behind them. There we go. We actually popped it out pretty good. This one has such a wide mouth on it, sometimes it snaps the tops off. Now this one has the same thing as the hand grips here, I believe. Boy, and the socket barely fits down in there to get it out. Oh, we got another seat belt here we got to deal with, same as the other one. This rear seat belt has a definitely bigger, longer bolt, and it's black instead of a, I don't know, galvanized looking thing. And it has this right here that was around it as well, kind of holding it out. So just so we know, we don't get that one mixed up with that one. So now it's time for these back panels. Now I've put the back seats forward, moved all this junk out of the way, and we're going to go up in there, and I'm just going to try and pop this top part just enough to be able to pull the headliner out. So hopefully we can do that. We'll see what we need to do. I'm going to start by just kind of seeing if this will pull off the side here, which it seems to be. And then we got these clips here, which I am actually going to kind of come underneath and see if I can't do that. Pry that out a little bit, push it forward, and then use the tool on it. That should make it so I can hopefully reuse these. Most of these kind of clips are actually only supposed to be a one-time use, but I found you can usually get a couple uses out of them. And these are kind of hard to find if you want a specific color. Tan and black aren't so bad, but usually the tans end up being lighter than the actual part you're replacing, so it doesn't always match, unfortunately. Okay, this one might not make it. Oh, that one just pulled right on out. See if I can't yank it out as well. I mean, my panel's pretty scratched up as it is back here, so I'm not super worried about if I put another ding in it. So if you got pristine panels, then you may want to be a little more careful. This one might be too big for this. You need to get a little smaller. Try this one out with. There we go. We're just gonna pull. Hopefully not break anything. These clips are replaceable if you do break them. This back seal plate here that I am not seeing any screws or anything like that. So, let's see here. Nope, no screws. Underneath there was something, and start just prying up underneath here till you find the thing. Yep, this one, now we should be able to just kind of start prying up the rest of the way across. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I'm going to use my tool over here. There we go. So this actually does kind of come up here and come out, and there are some screws down there. All right. Screw, Phillips head screw. So far there, everything's enough different, I can tell the difference. And then another one down here. I think there's just the two screws from what I can see here that are holding this booger in. Now, there it pulls that out, up on this to pull that out. There you go. All right, so the bolt, or nut actually I should say, holding this down at the bottom down here is an 18 millimeter. So now we got all the panels off all the way around, but right here there is a little clip that I need to get underneath, and it just pops right out, no problem. And I thought there'd be more of those, but I'm not seeing any more. It seems there's one here and one on the driver's side as well. And then I think it's time to start pulling this out. Now it's time to pull this stuff off around here, and it is really sticky. I'm just going to pull it off all the way around. You don't need to watch me pull everything off. It's definitely glued up there, so I'm hoping there's not a lot of glue holding this headliner up. Let's start with this, and I should definitely has a place to put a screwdriver right there, and that pops out. And then there are two Phillips head screws right there that I can see anyway. Don't lose them. There are three. There's one up here by the bulb. I'm going to pull this bulb out because it seems to be kind of in the way. Stay. I don't want to bust it. Wow. I thought there'd be some wires hooked to that. Now I thought that would be hooked, you know, there'd be some wires or something hanging down, but actually this screw and one of the other screws, the power goes through them. So you definitely want to have your battery unhooked before you start messing with this, which I do. But we got a pretty big clip there, one over there, and then in the back there's one there, one in the middle, and one over on that side. And I think that light right there actually comes with the headliner, I'm not sure. And then we'll probably have to unhook something from the wires there, but we shall see. If it's anything like this one, I may have to pull that off. So I'm going to start pulling those clips out. You don't need to see me use my little tool to pop those out. It's just a matter of popping them out. Pulled two of those out. I haven't pulled this third one out, and as you can see, it's starting to drop. But I want to go up underneath here and get to this and pull that wire off before I pull this last one off over here. And hopefully things will start falling without breaking. Okay. I think I can push on a little clip here and then break it. I was hoping to bring that out of here. Okay, yeah, there's... Alright, there we go. So this has a clip there, which, yet again, I broke that. But fortunately, it also has these right here, wings on either side. They're little metal tabs. And those you push in and push on that, and the whole thing kind of drops out. Unfortunately, yet again, I broke it. I think I'll be able to reuse it. Hopefully, if not, I can find another one. We'll see. I am going to go ahead and lift on this and pull this last clip out and let this drop. It's definitely stuck on this side over here, so I'm going to slowly let that down. It's the sticky stuff that they put around the hole here is definitely sticking to everything here. And I kind of pulled on the other side a little bit. I should have probably undid this first, or tried to. But I was afraid that that was going to break something. Man, this is really glued here. I hope you can see this. There we go. And then in the front, it appears to be kind of stuck as well on the corners. Alright. There we go. You can see the drips of water, and hopefully you can hear this, but you can kind of see the drips of water there, if I can get it just right here. And they're definitely going into the tunnel that is built into this. Now, I would think this should be a little more watertight than this. There's a lot of water coming in here. But they're not meant to be completely watertight. That's why they have the troughs and the hoses that should be draining out. I don't know if you can hear that noise, but that is the noise coming from these drain hoses. This trough right here is making all that noise. So I'm kind of wondering if there's just a small plug and it just can't always keep up, but yet again, I'm not seeing any leaks. It's making ugly noises, but I'm not seeing any leaks. Alright, so you'll notice the noise over here is not going anymore, and you can hear it. That's in this side over here. This one is water's coming out up here. On the other side, it was coming down in this area, and it doesn't seem to be coming down back here where I would assume it should be coming out. But you can see how dry it is here. And then on the other side here, it's still dripping. There's still water. It's flowing out here. It's not as much as it was when I just had it over on this side and it was making all the racket. You can still hear the racket. So I think I'm gonna dry this up, and I'm gonna try and pull, first of all, just pull these off here. I did this on the other side and it was free. So that side seems to be fine, even though that seems to be the side that's leaking, even though nothing seems to be leaking now. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe whatever was clogging this up went away. I don't know. But regardless, this is one of those places where if you do anything I do and you hurt your rig or yourself, I am not responsible. So if you don't like the way I'm doing something, don't do it, and I'm not responsible if you do. But I twisted this and it comes right off with no problem. The other side actually had some water come out of here. Kind of makes me wonder if it is these that are clogged up. But regardless, I take this and I can blow right through that with no problem. So I'm going to take some compressed air here and go ahead and give it a good pump. I'm not holding it super tight just in case you overdo something. Alright, I think that's clear. Now I got another little piece of hose that I actually am putting on the where it goes. And I got my air here. And I'm just blowing some air up through this to hopefully unclog if there's anything clogging it up. And I can put my hand up here and I can usually, I felt the air on the other side. And I'm filling air on this side as well. So it's clear there. Everything appears to be clear. Kind of blowing some air up in here to see if there's any smuts or leaves or something up in here, and I don't feel anything. So I'm going to do that on the front as well, just out of pure curiosity, and see what happens. You don't need to watch me do this over and over again. It's the same on all of them. They all have this little hose that goes in. Now I did notice on that side of something that I'm going to mess with is up in here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but over where it goes through and into the wall, it's kind of kinked over there. So I'm going to go ahead and mess with that and see if I can pull the hose up and give it a little bit more slack, so to speak. Alright, well this must have had some sort of a clog in it before I started, but it is, there's water here. As you can see, my hand is wet now, so there's definitely water coming down here. You can see it's starting to get more and more wet out here. It's still making the noises. Well, I checked it with the hose one more time, blew this one out one more time, because I did notice that down there it kind of stopped dripping quite so much. It never completely stopped, but it definitely slowed down. And now, hopefully you can see it, I got the sprinkler on there, and we're gonna simulate rain for a while. I'm gonna walk away and hope there is no leaks. Well, I don't know if you can see that. I've been running it. I had it higher, I've had it lower. This is more directly right on where it should be leaking pretty good. I'm going to shut this off and take a look at things inside. Alright, well I put a bucket directly under this one and there's no water in it. There is a little bit right there, but I think that was from me opening the door, because it's right underneath this area right there, and when I opened the door some water dripped. But I am not seeing any drips or leaks that I can see anywhere. Let's go to the other side. Those drips are definitely from when I opened the door. I saw that. And there's no water anywhere that I notice at all. So, and nothing dripping from up in here. So, I don't know what's going on. Well, in the end, I did not see or find any leaks. I don't know if it's self-healed, if we just had horrible rains, and those rains just overflowed more than it could do. Also, honestly, I've been parking it kind of at an angle towards the left, which maybe that was overwhelming it that way as well. It was all heading to that side. But I did notice leaks on the other side as well. And either way, I think it should have been able to take it. But on the other hand as well, those are old seals, and it might be leaking more than it should be, or what they planned on it being. So we'll just have to play it by ear. I'm actually going to just leave it torn apart for a while and leave it the way it is, and see if I notice water anywhere it shouldn't be, or leaking when it starts raining again. I don't know. Fortunately, yet unfortunately, I saw no leaks, and I left that sprinkler on there for probably a good hour altogether, doing different scenarios of the amounts of water and all kinds of stuff like that. So, and I just don't see anything. I don't see any reason why my headliner has those stains. The only other thing is, if it is leaking in through the door maybe, and it's soaking up through there, but I would think it would be closer to the edge of the headliner. If you want to go back in the video, it's probably 3 or 4 inches away from the edge of the headliner. Alright, well, I got a phone call, and my brain doesn't work for more than about 2 minutes at a time, so I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but either way, in the end, I'm going to drive it the way it is. So I've been playing a little bit of detective here, and really taking a look at this headliner, because it's just boggling me that the water I've been dumping on this thing does not seem to be coming through that roof, or through the sunroof. And you can see it's stained all the way up to here, so it kind of comes from the back, heads this way, goes all the way up, and you can see a little bit in here, but it kind of, there's just a tiny bit here, and then it starts right there. So I don't know, yet again playing detective. And then I just ripped this some more here. But anyway, there's also some kind of around where the visor is, up towards the window here. And I'm also noticing in this corner here, if I get out of the light, in this corner here around the visor, and kind of in this corner, it's definitely kind of where the headliner is rotting away a little bit, but then it's harder here. There's also a little bit right in this area and around here. So I don't know if it's leaking in several places. Definitely maybe the corner of the windows, which I'm going to take a look at on both corners. But as far as the main one, I am really starting to think that it's leaking in through the back here, because this is all really soft in here, and then the further away you get from it, the more stiffer it is. So leaking in here, kind of pulling up and draining that direction, just the way it was sitting or something like that, where it had it parked. So we're going to take a look at this in a different light of, maybe we have a serious leak here that's causing most of this, but we may have leaks also in the corners of the window, which I have. If you're having leaks in your windshield, I have a really good video on a fairly inexpensive way to take care of that on my GMC K3500 pickup truck. Go check out that on its playlist for that truck, and I have that video. Hopefully somebody got something out of this. Thanks for watching Junkworks DIY Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all, and I'm obviously master of none. You all have a good one.